The dominant public narrative suggests that AI regulation is a dead issue, permanently stalled by political gridlock and the inertia of election cycles. Reporting from legacy media institutions reinforces this baseline. The current consensus in outlets like The Journal and the Financial Times prices the probability of near-term regulation at roughly 20%. But the prediction markets reveal a massive mathematical contradiction. Capital is currently pricing the Fed AI reg contract, anticipating formal AI risk guidance by the end of 2026, at 0.62. That 42-point divergence indicates that capital is leading public attention by a margin of 4 to 6 months. While the narrative fixates on a paralyzed Congress, the order books are betting on a different channel entirely. The political noise is a distraction. To understand where the real architecture of control is being built, we have to look at the hidden administrative channels where authority is currently migrating. This market bet is driven by a mechanical reality. AI has moved into autonomous execution. Operational layers now route around human review and accountability, creating a structural vacuum that forces agencies to act. Because these systems bypass human oversight, bureaucracies like the Fed and the SEC must intervene to preserve their own institutional legitimacy. They cannot wait for legislative consent when financial stability is at risk. The process happens quietly. Agencies issue informal risk guidance to stabilize the sector. That guidance quickly becomes enforceable precedent. This allows unelected bodies, the Fed, SEC, and Treasury, to exert unilateral authority over AI deployment without a single new law from Congress. This shifts the law from an external boundary condition to an internal, tunable parameter. The rules become variables adjusted from inside the system's own optimization function, rather than constraints imposed from the outside. In this model, formal democratic instruments function as legacy code. They are invoked for ceremony, but they are increasingly ignored operationally as the kinetic state of agency action accelerates past the paper state of deliberation. We see similar concealment in economic data. Public concern is muted because national unemployment rates appear historically stable, suggesting AI hasn't yet disrupted the workforce. But the stability of the 4.2% unemployment rate hides a massive internal recomposition. Companies are executing a structural rebasing through hiring freezes and role augmentation rather than visible terminations. This chart captures the shift. White-collar work is being restratified. Roles that once required human decision-making are being converted into decision supervisors and prompt operators, moving humans further away from the locus of authority. This creates what we call the void, an escalating cognitive strain on humans forced to supervise layers of logic they cannot audit. Because no market instrument exists to price this digital fatigue, the strain compounds in silence. Economic stability remains the official metric, only because we lack a financial instrument to discipline the externality of this exhaustion. The system passes through a phase transition that our current statistics are not designed to register. The proof of this migration will arrive in stages. Before the end of 2026, we expect a major financial agency to formally introduce algorithmic systemic risk into their official guidance, validating the market's directional bet. Alternatively, a catastrophic failure event, a material jailbreak, or an agentic deployment error would compress this regulatory timeline from years to 90 days, forcing immediate intervention. This creates a unique failure of oversight. When legislative process is paralyzed and administrative law becomes a self-adjusting loop, the external guardrails that normally bound an economy begin to dissolve. This dissolution places the weight of constraint back onto the individual. In a system where external market and legal disciplines are absent, the only remaining operational friction is conscience, the internal tribunal that must weigh motives when the system itself cannot. Audit your own workflow with the same forensic rigor as these market gaps. Identify exactly where your decision authority is being routed to a model and reclaim it. When the external architecture fails to provide a limit, only your own internal work holds the wall.